The night was cold as the city lights flickered below, casting shadows on the sleek glass walls of the penthouse. In his hands, a glass of whiskey swirled, but it couldn't numb the fury inside him. He stood there, looking out over the skyline, the weight of his decision heavy on his shoulders. At just 24, Jason was already the youngest CEO in the world, a self-made billionaire. He had everything, except one thing: revenge. He'd been planning it for years, meticulously. She had taken everything from him. His family, his fortune, his future. And now, here she was, standing in front of him as his bride. "You really think this is going to work, Jason?" Her voice broke through his thoughts. Maria, the woman he had married, stood in the doorway, her arms crossed over her chest. Her expression was calm, almost detached. Jason didn't turn. He didn't need to look at her to know what she was thinking. She was the one who had betrayed him, and now she was the one who would pay. He took a slow sip of his whiskey. "I've been planning this for years, Maria. You can't escape it," he said, his tone cold, unfeeling. Maria didn't respond at first, just standing there. But then, she stepped into the room, her heels clicking sharply on the polished floor. "You think you're in control? You think you're the only one with a plan?" Jason's eyes snapped to her then. The room felt charged, the air thick with tension. She wasn't supposed to be this confident. He had married her to destroy her, to humiliate her, to watch her crumble under the weight of her own guilt. But now, she was challenging him, and something about that unnerved him. "Whatever game you're playing, Maria, it's over," he said, his voice steady. "I'm the one in charge here." Maria smiled, a knowing look in her eyes. "You have no idea, Jason." He narrowed his eyes. "What's that supposed to mean?" She took a step closer. "You really think I don't know what you're doing? You think I didn't expect this? I'm not the one who's been hiding things, Jason." His heart skipped. He didn't want to admit it, but there was something about her, something he couldn't place. She wasn't as innocent as she seemed, but he couldn't figure out what it was. "You're wasting your time, Maria," Jason said, trying to dismiss her words. "I'll tear you apart. It's already done." But she just shook her head. "You haven't even begun to understand, Jason. You're playing checkers while I'm playing chess." His frustration began to rise. "Enough of your games." He slammed the glass down on the table, the sound echoing through the room. But Maria just looked at him, almost pityingly. "You'll see soon enough. The truth is, you're not the one who's been in control this whole time." Days passed, and the tension between them only grew. Jason found himself obsessing over every little detail, trying to figure out what Maria was hiding. It became an obsession, consuming him. Every moment he spent with her, he felt as though he was losing ground, as if the scales were tipping in her favor. One evening, after a particularly heated argument, Jason stormed into his study, slamming the door behind him. He couldn't stand it anymore. The thought of her outsmarting him was driving him mad. He had to find out what she was hiding. Hours passed as he scoured the house, going through drawers, bookshelves, and even her personal things. And then in the back of a drawer in their shared bedroom, he found it, a letter. His hands trembled as he read the words on the page. "I know who you are, Jason. And I know what you're planning. But I'm not the one you need to fear. The truth will come out soon enough." His heart raced. He had to find out more. But what was she talking about? Later that night, they sat at the dinner table, the silence between them deafening. Jason's mind raced as he watched her, trying to figure out what she knew. Maria was eating as if nothing had changed. But he couldn't stop looking at her. Finally, he broke the silence. "Who else knows about this? What are you hiding from me, Maria?" She didn't look up. She took another bite of her food, unfazed. "You're looking in all the wrong places, Jason. You won't find what you're searching for." He stood up abruptly, pushing his chair back. "Tell me what you know, Maria." She looked up then, her eyes meeting his for the first time that evening. There was no fear there. Only something dark. "You want the truth, Jason?" she said, her voice low. "You really want to know what I've been hiding?" His pulse quickened. "Yes." Maria slowly stood up, walking towards him. "You've been so focused on revenge, so obsessed with destroying me, that you never stop to think about who really holds the power here. Jason's breath caught in his throat. What do you mean? Her eyes darkened. The reason your family lost everything, Jason, wasn't because of me. It was because of your own greed. Your father wasn't a victim, Jason. He was the one who betrayed everyone. You've been carrying that guilt all along. You never knew who the real enemy was. Jason froze, the weight of her words sinking in. No, that's not true. But Maria was already turning away. Isn't it? Or are you just afraid to face the truth? Jason staggered back, the room spinning around him. The anger that had fueled him for years was starting to crumble. He wasn't angry anymore. He was confused and afraid. The next few days were a blur. Jason couldn't stop thinking about Maria's words. What if everything he'd believed was a lie? What if he had been chasing the wrong person all along? And then, everything came crashing down. One evening, as they were sitting together in the living room, Jason finally spoke. I don't know who I am anymore, Maria. I've spent so long focused on revenge that I never even stopped to ask myself why I was doing this. I don't know how to fix this. Maria didn't respond immediately. She just looked at him as if weighing his words. And then, quietly, she said, the first step is admitting the truth, Jason. He looked at her then, really looked at her, and something shifted inside him. The anger that had consumed him, the bitterness, it all seemed so small now. And in that moment, the world outside seemed to fade away, leaving just the two of them in their silence. Slowly, hesitantly, Jason reached out. He cupped her face in his hands, and for the first time in years, he wasn't thinking about revenge. He was thinking about her. About them. Maria didn't pull away. Her eyes softened, and she closed the distance between them. Their lips met in a kiss full of everything they had been through, full of pain, regret, and something that felt like forgiveness. When they finally pulled away, they were both breathless. Jason looked at her, his voice quiet. I'm sorry, Maria. I've been so lost in my own hate, I didn't see you. And for the first time, Maria smiled, genuinely. It's okay, Jason. We both needed to find the truth. As the days passed, something changed. The distance between them began to fade, replaced by a fragile but growing understanding. They had both been lost in their own worlds, consumed by their pain and their pasts. But now, they were finally seeing each other for who they truly were. And in the end, they fell in love, not because of revenge or survival, but because they had finally found each other in the rubble of everything that had come before. Did you see that twist coming? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that like button if you want to see more of these incredible stories. Subscribe to our channel so you never miss a dramatic story, and stay tuned for more mind-blowing recaps.